Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx, back in the DJcity UK lab. Today, I've got a quick review for you. We are looking at the 4th generation of recording box from EvermixBox4. Let's get into it. This was not my first encounter with an EvermixBox4. They sent me the very first generation one back in 2015. Like this current version, it was an interface which connected to your phone and then recorded audio into the company's own app. To be completely honest, I can't remember exactly why I didn't review it at the time. But if memory serves, it was not due to the hardware or the app, but instead it was because their main aim at that time was to create a platform, competing with the likes of Mixcloud, where all of your mixes would be uploaded to your EvermixBox4 page, and that felt a bit too much like a walled garden for my liking. Thankfully, there are no such concerns anymore, and I'll get on to what you can do with your recording shortly, but first, let's take a look at the hardware. The box itself is very compact and built with a very solid feeling metal construction. At one end you have a pair of RCA line input sockets to connect to any output on your mixer, controller or whatever you like. At the other end there is a multi-pin DIN socket with a proprietary cable which either goes to a lightning plug for iPhones and iPads or a USB-C connector for Android phones. Yes, Android is supported with this. There are some limitations, of course, because, well, Android. The device will need to be running Android 8.0 or above and support USB OTG, and Google Pixel phones are not supported. It's also worth noting that the USB-C cable is not currently working with the latest USB-C equipped iPads either. There is a mini jack input for an external mic and a micro USB socket allowing you to power the box when using an iOS device. That means you can charge your phone at the same time and you never have to worry about battery life. So it is a shame that doesn't also work with Android, although you could still use a wireless charger with devices on either platform. I'm just not a fan of proprietary cables, and so I'll never be over enamoured with that little DIN plug. EvermixBox4 tell me they have to use that in order to allow power to be used at the same time, which does kind of make sense, although I'm certain the first generation box allowed that too, and that one had a regular USB port. The whole kit comes in a nice little soft case with a stereo RCA cable and the phone connector cable included. Overall, it's a nice package with a price of £110 sterling, which translates to around $140 at the time of making this video. As you would expect, the EvermixBox4 app is free to download and it's pretty slick with a nice clean design. There aren't a whole lot of options in there. You can choose your recording format, 192 or 320 AAC or 48 kHz 16-bit WAV. I'd always suggest sticking to WAV at the recording stage if you have the space for it on your device. When using that format or the 320 AAC, you get very high quality recordings as you would hope. Certainly good enough for mix recording, which is what the box is intended for. One thing that is definitely missing in my opinion, input level controls. The app does a great job of attenuating levels at that end automatically, and you have the level meters to see what's going in, but as DJs we don't always have the option to control things at the mixer end, say if you have to use a second master output instead of a record out. So I'd really like to see those added to the app, as I'd rather be able to record low and boost later instead of trusting an algorithm to process my audio on the fly. You also have the option to make use of the mini jack mic input and record crowd noise. That's very clever. It knocks you down to AAC recording automatically, but it then creates a 4-channel file, so you can fade the crowd noise in and out in post however much you wish. You'll need a mic to use it with, and EvermixBox4 recommended the Audio-Technica ATR6250 to me, which is another £30 to £40. So that is another thing to buy and another thing to carry around, and it's putting the total price above something like the Tascam DR40X recorder, which will do 4-channel WAV recording and has built-in stereo mics for crowd noise. Overall, that makes the EvermixBox4 a harder sell if you want to record with crowd noise on a regular basis. Once you've got a mix recorded, you can do a lot with it in the app. The interface is straightforward and intuitive, and you can set different volume points, start and end times, and fade in or out. There are plenty of options for tagging your recording, and then once you've finished tweaking it, you can share directly to Mixcloud, SoundCloud, or upload to personal cloud services like Dropbox or Google Drive. I found the latter two very handy indeed, as it meant the phone didn't have to go anywhere near my computer to get the file on there for editing. With an iOS device, you can also drag recordings out from the file sharing tab in iTunes. I'm not sure how that works on Android though. There's one very big advantage to using an EvermixBox4 over a standalone recorder, and that is for live streaming. Once the box is connected, you can open up your streaming app of choice like Facebook, Instagram or YouTube, and the nice clean direct audio from your mixer gets fed straight into those apps. I gave this a thorough test and it was very impressive. If you're going to be doing live streams of your sets from your phone, direct audio is the way to go, and the EvermixBox4 made it an absolute breeze. So there you go, my take on the EvermixBox version 4 and the accompanying app. Lots of positives when it comes to this thing. Firstly, there's an Android version of the app. You know, I don't use Android, but millions of people around the world do use Android, and they deserve to have the same kind of quality of apps as people who use iOS. So I think that is great. Secondly, the hardware itself will work with pretty much anything. You know, there's no restrictions here. If you've got something with a line output, you can plug it into this box and get great quality recording. You can use it with any mixer, any controller, whatever you like. That is great. I also like the flexibility of what you can do with the files. So you can put them straight into your own Dropbox. You can upload to different platforms. There's lots of options there. And also, I like the fact that you've got those streaming options. The fact you can do live streaming, direct high quality audio out to Facebook Live, Instagram, or YouTube, whatever platform you like with this device. That makes it a very handy thing to have in your bag. Really, for me, the only negative is that proprietary cable. I'm not a big fan of proprietary cables at all. I like standard cables that you can buy in a gas station. That's the ideal as far as I'm concerned, but you know what? If that's what they've had to do to make it work this way, I'm not going to complain too much. Price-wise, I think it's pretty respectable. If you want a decent recording solution, you're not using a laptop, chances are whatever you buy is going to cost you around that kind of $100 kind of price range. So this is right in the ballpark. Overall, I think it's a nice idea, well executed. It's the kind of thing that I could easily see myself carrying in my bag from now on. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon down below to get notified anytime there's a new video from myself or the rest of the DJ City team. I'll see you soon.